Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Lip Katie Couric tried to get Betty White to slam Trump. Betty's response stunned her. It's unbelievable how deeply biased and also deluded the media has been regarding the presidency of Republican Donald Trump. Reporters and other media figures think that they have the right to openly disparage the president and other Republicans, and nationally expect anyone they talk with to agree with them or at least go along with their verbal abuse. Thankfully, there are still some celebrities who have the common sense and decency to show America's sitting president the respect that he rightfully deserves, even if they personally have differing views than him on some issues. One such classy person is Golden Girls actress Betty White, who on her 95th birthday was interviewed by Katie Couric on Yahoo News. During the course of the interview, liberal Couric decided to bait White, and set her up to criticize President Trump. Thankfully, savvy Betty did not take the bait, and instead surprised Katie and many viewers by talking instead about how Americans need to be more positive. Asked Couric, lettingly, "The world is in a very interesting place right now. What do you think about the state of our country and how divided it seems to be?" Betty replied, "It's very divided, and we're not in the best place we've ever been. I think that's the time to buckle down and really work positively as much as you can instead of just saying, 'This is terrible. He's terrible.'" She added, "Just think, all right, there's nothing I can do about that right now, but I can do the best in my little circle. So if I do that, maybe you'll do your best and we'll get through this." She also criticized the many in America who have turned to extreme toxic negativity in response to Trump's presidency. Said the actress, "So many people think negatively, it's like, 'Oh, you know what I hate?' Instead of 'all right, I'll get through this.' Then all of a sudden you start lifting up a little bit, but if you start with 'you know what I hate,' you're gonna go right down the tubes." She went on, "You've gotta get through it. And you can't change it, so let's just one foot in front of another and get through it. How much do you love dignified White for not stooping to Couric's level?" CNN's Chris Cillizza demands examples of him being fake news. He instantly regrets it. Sarah Sanders completely eviscerated CNN's Jim Acosta for his fake news. Chris Cillizza tried to defend his buddy, but things did not go well for him. "You cannot say that it's an honest mistake when you're purposely putting out information that you know to be false," said Sanders to Acosta. "Or when you're taking information that hasn't been validated, that hasn't been offered any credibility, and that has been continually denied by a number of people, including people with direct knowledge of an instance. I think that was pretty misleading to the American people, and I think that it's very telling that that individual had to be suspended because of that reporting. I think that shows that the network took it seriously and recognized that it was a problem," said Acosta. Chris Cillizza responded on Twitter, "It is beyond offensive for Sarah Sanders to say that journalists are purposely reporting false information to forward some sort of agenda. Just appalling," tweeted Cillizza. "Look the other way until it's you, eh?" responded Greg Dworkin, an editor for the Daily Cause. "No, Greg. Read my work. Have a good day," responded Cillizza. "Bad idea." "Your work?" responded Dworkin with a photo of an article written by Cillizza just days before the election. "Donald Trump's chances of winning are approaching zero." Breaking: Longtime Fox host just got fired. We are living in a strange age where some prominent men get hit with sexual misconduct allegations seemingly out of nowhere and then vanish from their jobs, their careers abruptly destroyed. We do not know for sure yet, but many speculate that this same fate that befell former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly and others is the reason that Steve Edwards, the iconic host at Fox affiliate KTTV in Los Angeles, suddenly disappeared from Fox viewers in the country's second largest media market. Beloved Edwards, who is 69, had served as host of Fox's Good Day LA program since 1995. Viewers and even the network's own staff got no warning of Steve's dismissal, with news director Chris Knutson breaking the unexpected news to KTTV's employees on Monday. The Hollywood Reporter's Stefan Molyneux was the first to state that sexual misconduct allegations may have been involved, tweeting, "Steve Edwards, the morning anchor of Fox's Los Angeles-based KTTV station, has been let go by the news channel." The longtime anchor was reportedly fired after allegations of sexual harassment were made against him. Fellow Los Angeles Fox host Steve Tonim-Suing defended his former co-worker, writing, "I've worked with Steve on the air longer than anyone else during his career. He has been a mentor and a friend and my staunchest supporter. This is without question one of the most difficult things I've ever had to read. Do you think it was right for Fox to fire Steve Edwards, or do you think it was unfair and just part of the current hysteria?" Hugh Hewitt takes Jim Acosta to the woodshed for being a fraud. Acosta has a meltdown over it. Conservative radio host Hugh Hewitt crushed Jim Acosta in an epic interview. Acosta has been making headlines for his over-the-top theatrics during White House press conferences. "Is it possible for your audience to believe you are neutral, fair and objective when you are snarkily tweeting at the president?" asked Hewitt. Acosta didn't answer the question. He instead tried to justify his behavior. "Where is the same sense of decency when it comes to when the president refers to us as the enemy of the people, when the president refers to us as fake news?" yelled Acosta. "But if you hold yourself out as neutral, fair and objective, I don't think, and this is, by the way, why the New York Times now has social media guidelines for their reporters. And I think CNN's got to develop them. If you're going to hold yourself out as neutral, fair and objective, I don't think you can snark," said Hewitt. "Hugh, I have just as much a voice as anybody else," responded Acosta, immediately disproving his own point. "I think if you look at my coverage on a daily basis, if you look at the coverage at CNN on a daily basis, it is very fair, but it is very tough. And it is because, in part, we have a president that we're covering these days who is very tough on us. And so this is in response. You don't like him, because he's mean to you?" asked Hewitt. Soon Acosta got angry. "Well, don't invite me on if you don't want me to finish your question," screamed Acosta as his 17 minutes of time ran out. "I wish it could have been a more fair interview," whined Acosta. Other Bible verses say it's over. Brett Baier slammed Roy Moore for not conceding. Who do you agree with? It was deeply dismaying that extreme Democratic smear tactics and outright character assassination just won the night in Alabama, and controversial Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore was defeated by low-profile Democrat Doug Jones. Many were expecting Moore to get on stage following the final polling results and make a concession speech. Instead, Moore discussed next steps that could be taken, including waiting for military votes to be counted. He stated to his followers, part of the problem with this campaign is we've been painted in an unfavorable and unfaithful light. We've been put in a hole, if you will." He went on, "And it reminds me of a passage in Psalms 40. I waited patiently for the Lord, that's what you got to do. He inclined to me, heard my cry, brought us up out of a horrible pit, out of slimy clay and set me feet on the rock and established my goings and put a new song in our mouth. Praise to our God. Many shall see it and hear it and shall be moved by that, if you will. And that's what we've got to do, is wait on God and let this process play out." Fox News host Brett Baier was clearly unhappy with the fact that Moore did not offer a concession speech following his election loss. Speaking with Shannon Bream, Baier referenced the fact that Moore used a Bible quote, and stated about the election, "There are other Bible verses that say, it's over. I think the numbers that we're looking at, It doesn't seem like it's going to get to that 0.5%. He continued, eventually, I think you're going to see form the Moore campaign, a concession. Moore did not meet the threshold to trigger an automatic recount in Alabama, which is coming within 0.5 percentage point of the victor. Republican Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill declared the people of Alabama have spoken, and that it would be highly unlikely for Jones not to be confirmed as Alabama's newest U.S. Senator at this point. Do you agree with Baier that Moore needs to accept the outcome as is and move on, or do you think Roy should still keep fighting?